Coming to you every week from no place in particular. This is the Forever Road podcast, featuring Bosco. He's a music lover, a historian, and a connoisseur of the obscure. Find us on some great platforms like iHeart, Spotify, and even more as we keep growing. Now, pointed down the Forever Road, here's Bosco.
Okay, take two. Welcome to
Take two on number 2. Ain't that some shit?
Man,
Sorry.
I'll admit I am not computer savvy. I mean, I try to figure things out, but either way, we're back. The guys in the chats will come back, I hope. Thank God. All right, Bosco, Turtle, take two. The best, worst thing you've never seen on the YouTubes. The sexiest beards you'll ever see on the YouTubes.
Come on.
And the most awesome little puppy dog.
Little.
There it is. Little, right? Little. I say
Come
little.
on. Get up here. Come on. Okay, don't get up here.
For my listeners, I think that's the majority of our fan base is listeners. I need to update the last 2 episodes, I think, on over Spotify, but I will. I'll get them done tonight. I just gotta get them downloaded and get them over there. Find us on Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music. I think that's it for right now. YouTube Live, YouTube Music. And yeah. So, this last week has been crazy. Things change in my own personal life, as many of you know. And I'll be going on a trip in a week to probably the last wild frontier. Aside from Alaska, I'm not going up that far.
Yeah, I heard the fishing was terrible.
That Rex.
Yep, that's my little buddy.
I can't see part of his face.
Yeah, it's
Most of his face.
Fake green screen picture we got. It's no better with the other one. Are you done now? You got enough love? Is that hurting you standing like that or something?
In his old age.
Yeah. Barely 2.
Is he even a year yet?
Oh, yeah. He's almost 2. No, he's.
Has it been that?
2. Yep.
No, you ain't had him that long.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Last August was a year. Not this year. 2023 August was a year.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was born in August of 2022. He still thinks he's a year old.
He still thinks he's a month old. He wants to climb up on you.
He doesn't want to get up in my lap. Like he's not like that. He knows he's a big boy.
Yeah.
That's why we call him Fathead. You know, right? You go Fathead. Give my fat head. Give my baby. Give my baby.
But yeah, we have this is the second recording of the night, our second attempt at getting this thing done for you listeners, followers, brothers and sisters out there. And thank y'all for listening. Thank you for following. Hit that like and subscribe button. Share this to your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed, your TikTok feed, your OnlyFans feed.
I'll share it on my own. I'll share it on my Only Dad's account.
But yeah, we were attempting to talk about our second vehicles in that timeline through that time that era of life. I know for me, after the like I said before, after the demise of my 76 Power Wagon,
The untimely death or
yes,
passing.
very
Untimely passing.
and I tell you what, man, I miss that truck. I think about that truck. I'm like, man,
You miss that truck like you miss your grandfather. That's why I said the untimely passing.
yeah. Matter of fact, the grill on my Power Wagon came off of Pawpaw Harrington's old Dodge truck.
There you go.
Wish I should have just took it off and kept it, put it up on a wall somewhere. But I was a young punk kid. I didn't know.
He was young, dumb, and full of jokes.
Boy, the things I thought I knew back then, though.
Oh yeah.
Even in the transition of, and I had a lot of help. During that time period, I met some cool people. The transition from the Power Wagon over to the ended up with a 1976 K5 Blazer, and when I done some work. Now, so I meet and I'll shout out to them in the chats too, even when I post this and tag them in it. I met my buddy who would eventually, like you, be a brother. Eddie. And I ended up working at Gold Cup Bowling Alley in Macon, and was driving the Power Wagon at the time. And then I met this dude up front. He worked in the diner area. I guess it's a diner. What do you call it? Snack bar, where they make all the food. What are they? Is it
Yeah,
official?
it's the snack bar.
Snack bar.
We'll go with that. That sounds good.
Aloha Snack Bar. Right.
Yes.
And then he got hired. His buddy, this dude named Eddie Adams, and then I met. So it was Donnie, and then I met his buddy Eddie, and Eddie's sister Amy, which Amy shows up in the chats every once in a while. She watches us from time to time. She's a very close friend of mine as well. They became family, just like I went on to meet their dad. Rest easy, Mr. Adams. And he was kind of like a pseudo father, kind of what I want to say here.
Okay. Didn't say.
He was a good man to look up to, man of God. Love to help anybody, and he'll, anybody who's hurting for work or whatever, needs some help, needs some money or whatever, he'll put you to work. You'll work. You will definitely work. I mean,
go lay in.
Being that young, I think you what's the old term? A weak mind and a strong back. That's where I learned that term. But it was a cool time period, I guess, for I was my oldest kid, Jay, was just a few years old. And my Power Wagon, it died, and I saw this guy who had this Blazer, and it didn't even have a top on it. The guy he got it from welded in this sheet metal on the back to make a back of a cab, I guess. It was right there behind the seats, and he had this. Oh God, it's so redneck. This plywood across the back that's supposed to be the shape of a window on top of, screwed in, sheet metal screwed into that, and then a square cutout for a window. The square cut out with plexiglass put in place for a window. And I used to drive a Chevrolet, but now I'm humping every day.
It's a cadence.
Yeah. So I'm not falling for this again, Marine's blood. You Rick rolled me once before, sir. So, God, man, ended up getting fired from Gold Cup. Personal reasons. Well, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't care. One of the owners, I guess, niece, I was talking to, and apparently they didn't like that. She came from the other side of the track that I wasn't really allowed to be over. You know, here I am, and if anybody knows anything about South Macon,
Stay
Turtle
your ass on that side of the tracks, man.
Yeah. So redneck boy from South Macon going after a North Macon cheerleader, basically.
Yeah.
But I have all good friends. And Mr. Adams had helped me. I sold him my Power Wagon because it had a dunk kit on it. He needed it for whatever reason. He I think he ran a construction business. I know it was Adams Enterprises, but I'm not really sure. I know they did roofing, but I'm not.
They did a few handyman things, but on large scale.
So I'm like, in this time period, I'm going, well, I don't have an education. Let me see if I can find a job elsewhere. And I bounced from job to job. I think I ended up in heavy duty parts distributors, which is a big truck parts outfit. Trailer parts. So I learned about warehousing, and I don't like working in warehouses. That's how I learned that lesson. And Miss Adams had helped me save up the money, work on top of my paychecks. I ended up buying that Blazer. And I'll stop there and I'll let you pick up where you were.
I was on like 8th or 9th car by the time we ended that. So where do you want me to go?
What was your second?
No, well, if anybody remembers from previous conversation, my first vehicle was the 92 Ford Tempo that my grandparents bought me. And I tried my best to kill that thing and could not. So there's one there's one marker for the Ford fans out there, because I do not like Fords. But I ended up borrowing my father's, which, funny enough, it's the vehicle I learned to drive in. I ended up borrowing my father's 84 S10 with a 4-speed on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
I learned how to drive in that thing. Oh, my God. No power steering either.
No power steering. Manual.
You know where Forest Park Hill is, or Forest Park Drive? Over in the Manor Court area, MacArthur?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it stuck at the bottom of that hill trying to go up. Learned how to drive a stick that day. So I got it home. But anyway, so later on in life, when I finally got a license and lost the Tempo, I blew the transmission up in it. Still never blew up the motor. But I ended up getting stuck here in Middle Georgia when I was needing to be in North Carolina, because I wasn't even supposed to be out of town. So I borrowed my dad's truck, 84 S10, drove it all the way up there, drove it for almost 6 months. And he was like, "Hey, when are you going to bring me my truck back?" And I was like, "Never. I kind of like it." He was like, "Well, you need to bring it back. I need it back." All right,
it had
cool,
to be
whatever.
It had to be what, 2.5, the old Iron Duke 4-cylinder?
I believe so, man. That thing was, I'm telling you that. Oh God, I missed that truck. I miss that truck. It was the shittiest thing I ever drove.
I was
And I
about to
wish,
say it. Go
oh,
ahead.
but I mean, as shitty as a 4-speed, that's like, to me, that's like driving a old Ford tractor, old, old Case tractor, old John Deere tractor, like tractor. That thing was and no power steering, stock, no power steering. We got it from my mother's uncle, who was like 80 something years old when he passed away and was still driving that thing.
Mm.
Like Popeye arms, scrawny legs, needed a walker. But man, that thing was terrible to drive. And that's what inspired me to get my second vehicle. My second vehicle was the 96 Nissan pickup, extended cab, so I could put the 10s in the back. The little 1,000-watt amp I thought I was doing great with.
Oh yeah.
But it was a 4x4 V6 96 Nissan. And it did pretty good off-road for the 2 weeks that it was an off-road vehicle. But we decided that I was going to start hanging out with these little mini truck guys.
Yeah.
And I had a lifted truck, so that wasn't going to work. So we just took the suspension off and put bags on it.
Lord. Got to be ashamed of yourself.
That was actually the name of the truck. Good Lord. Every time somebody got in it and I drove them down the street, they just went, good Lord. So that's what it was called. Good Lord. As you were blessed if you survived rides in that truck. Nobody else was allowed to drive it, mainly because most people were afraid to. But we literally left the mud tires on it and everything and just slammed it as low as we could go with bags. And it was back in the days when there were no, lowering bag. Everybody was still using hydraulics. We're talking 99, 2000.
Yeah.
Like, people are not really using bags to lower anything yet. And they were using hydraulics still. So the bags we ended up getting were off of a big rig. The big 10-inch diameter freaking 1 foot tall fucking bags.
Yeah.
Two on each end of each axle.
You daggum overkill.
Well, we had this idea that if we ever wanted to go back to taking it off road, that it would need to be lifted in some form. Which sparked the beginning of it only ever being a lowrider after that, because those bags don't hold up as well as you would hope.
My little so as bad as the back glass plywood redneckery that was going on. So I did mention Eddie, and Eddie's if anything, he doesn't. I ain't gonna hate on him here really, but this dude could do some wiring, and I knew. I mean, I had no lights working. I had it was just a mess. Burnt wires, cut wires, hacked wires. All the it. So Eddie spent. I think I used his truck, and he had a sweet 76. Matter of fact, same year, 2-wheel drive. It was built C10, and
So
he let me drive.
So it was only 2-wheel because he lacked the transfer case.
Well, yeah, but he had a sweet C10, and it was. I mean, this thing was fast, and it was fun to drive. And he said, "Well, drive mine until let me get your truck squared away." So he spent his afternoon when I think he was in and out of school at the time, and something like that. I can't remember exactly what he was doing during the day. But anyway, so he took his time and he rewired the whole dash, rewired all the lights in that truck for me while I was at work. And I'd come home and we'd still be messing with it. Then I learned how to do brakes. So this is my trial and error truck. This is when I was like, I thought I knew mechanic stuff, and I learned I didn't at the time.
Read some more books, kids.
This is why I always stress, and I've stressed this to my kids and even other people that want to get into the mechanic line of work, is a lot of things I learned is out there in the driveway on my own personal vehicles, friends' vehicles, friends of friends' vehicles. And then I start learning.
Enemies' vehicles. Yeah, I fixed your air conditioner. I don't know why your brakes aren't working. Bring it by.
Working on Marine's Blood in the chat says, I personally have only owned 2 vehicles, a 2002 Grand Marquis. Then I rear-ended a local bus route supervisor due to misjudging distance for rain. And it bent the frame. Second is 03 Odyssey.
Odyssey? You got wife and kids?
Odyssey. Sound like you got, hey, man.
Or is that the hand-me-down vehicle from mom and dad? The Odyssey. Because that's a minivan, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a Honda minivan.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I've seen one. There's one riding around in one Robbins.
Oh, they're not bad looking. It's just a minivan.
Oh, yeah.
I had a minivan. I got a wife and 3 kids. That's why I asked. Is he married with children, or is it just it's a hand-me-down vehicle?
Yeah, but the Grand Marquis, man, he said it bent the frame. That's You did some work if you bent. You did some work if you bent the frame and a Grand Marquis, though. But
that's what I'm saying. You only bent the frame. Because if you bent
what did it do to his car?
I was going to say, if you only bent the frame, you bend the frame like you were saying. If you bend the frame on a Grand Marquis, I mean, it is a 2002, so it's probably unibody. But no, it wasn't. I'm just joking.
No, it's full frame.
Yeah, but even so, like even a 2002 Grand Marquis, you bend the frame on that, you fucked up some other shit too. You didn't just bend the frame. But if you just bent the frame, what did you do to the other vehicle? See, he has a wife and 2 kids. I called it.
Yeah. I mean, a friend of mine had I think he only had 1 kid, but he had a minivan.
Oh, shit.
He wasn't married.
I had a Dodge Grand Caravan. Before that, I had I did have another Jeep and some other stuff. Avalanche. I can't stand avalanches, but I had one because it had room for kids.
The Chevrolet Ridgeline.
And then Cadillac. I think Cadillac did it too with the Escalade. Anyway.
Yeah. So Eddie fixed all the wiring, and then I learned how to do brakes. And I realized why I had to learn how to do brakes, because when I moved out to Jones County, Georgia, that was like my first venture out from outside the home. Mom and Daddy had enough of my crap, and they told me, "Hey,
first time being allowed to play in the front yard." Yes.
Yeah. They said, time for you to go. Yes, sir. All right. Let me figure out where I'm gonna go now. Do everything I could, and this is no hating on my folks. Believe me, I was a punk ass kid. Thought I knew about life, and I could do this myself. Yeah.
You the big man.
This is the beginning of me. This is the beginning of me learning I didn't know anything that I thought I knew. Thinking back, if I could go back to me then, I'd pick myself up. What is wrong with you?
Shut up.
I mean, I didn't do anything bad, like illegal. I just made a lot of dumb decisions.
Sit down and just listen.
Yeah. Go take your ASVAB, join the military.
Yeah, for real. You could be living like me right now. Sitting in a
Yep.
beautiful house like this.
Right,
Having
with
a
that
grand
piano back there.
piano sitting back there. Like, come on. You can't, I mean, right next to a fireplace, dude. How can you get any better than a piano next to a fireplace?
Right. Sitting in there like Robert Goulet. I'm more of a Jerry Lee Lewis fan myself, but anyway.
I don't know. I wouldn't want my great balls on fire.
Or Fats Domino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chubby Checker.
Yeah, him too. Yeah. Hank Jr. plays the piano, believe it or not. Yeah, I know. So
Johnny
around
Cash
the
plays
same
the piano.
around the same time, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe it was beforehand. In a previous way back in the very beginning of all this episode, I'd mentioned about my cousin's 86 Crown Victoria. He did the same thing. He was going through an intersection, the light was green and the cross section was red, and the girl ran the red light and he plowed right into her. And then everybody around said that the light was yellow. You know, that was way back when and all that stuff. But yeah, toasted the Crown Vic, and that was it. That's probably right. Low mileage Grand Prix. Marine's Blood said low mileage Grand Prix. The insurance appraiser said the frame was bent.
Yeah.
Passenger door, yeah, pushed that fender back over the door and broke the light. Yeah. And those, man, for straightening those frames, that's a lot of money. I did. Matter of fact, somebody was on here not long ago, Dan Atkinson.
Mm-hmm.
At his house right now is a manual. I had to get him to send pictures of it, but manual. I think it's a Grand Marquis with a manual transmission in it. Somebody swapped it over.
I want to find a manual Magnum. The SRT Magnums.
There's got to be something out there.
And I want to Hellcat swap it.
That would be pretty. Well, I mean, if it's already SRT, then what do you don't need to do much. Throw a supercharger on and you're good to go.
Yeah, I'd just buy a brand new block, and because I don't know what they've already done to the SRT. Most of the people who had the SRTs dogged the shit out of them. And if I find one for sale that if I find one that I can actually afford, that means it's probably dogged out, or it's the V6, not an SRT Magnum that they manual swapped with the Challenger parts. But anyway, yep.
Did you see that one Magnum with the Challenger front end? There is a Magnum. There is a Magnum out there that somebody swapped over the Challenger front end. Mm-hmm. Looks like a Challenger wagon.
Have you seen the Charger that got turned into a truck?
Yeah.
The El Camino looking truck.
Yeah. There was one. Matter of fact, there was one at Mo Party.
That's probably the same. Yep, probably the same guy. There ain't but one, and he built it in his garage.
Yeah, somebody sent me a video of one at some car dealership, and it was a newer body style Charger, newer than that yellow one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yellow
but
one was like 08
gray
or 12. Huh? It's like 08 or 12 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Well, I mean, hats off. I think that would be kind of cool. I think we need to do a custom car episode.
We should. Me and you should just get together and build a custom car. You know, in this big shop that I got in my backyard.
Yeah. It's like right through that door over there.
Yep, right.
No, yeah, the other way. There you go. Right outside that door. That door. Something. Yeah.
No, you're not getting up here just to be on camera. Everybody loves you. They think you're great, but you need to go lay down. Go. Vámonos.
My daughter says this is my my girl cup. My knockoff. What are they getting into now? What do they call these cups? The Stanley Cup?
Yeah, Stanley's.
Had put water in your girl cup? I was like, it's my Captain America cup, thank you.
Yeah, that makes it so much better.
See?
You could just say America. You don't have to say Captain America. You weren't born in the 2000s. You're free from that. Cool.
Oh, yeah. All right. Fair enough. Good point. Good point.
Using Marvel expressions. Come on. Bring it back down. Just America.
America. It's my America cup.
America.
Leave me alone.
I'm all for it. I'm here to help you out, man.
So in my first brake job, I learned that brake shoes suck. Especially all those springs you got to change and pull up this way. And good Lord. The easiest brake shoes I've ever changed has been on tractor trailers, believe it or not. They are simple. And really simple to adjust as well.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm riding down. I joined the Jones County Fire Rescue because Eddie and I believe Donnie, they were both in the volunteer fire rescue as well. This is what started the whole want to be Mr. Hero, firefighting, saving people, helping folks, shaking babies and kissing hands or whatever. Led me into all that. This is like this is the entry to all that. How I got into law enforcement. And we'll cover that part later on in another episode. But so the tones go out. And if you don't understand what that means, they give you a pager and you have the pager on you at all times. Sitting around.
Except for the shower. Don't put it on.
Yeah. Don't take it to the shower. Put it on like the counter before you get in the shower. Or on top of the commode. Whatever's comfortable for you. So you get this pager so when a 911 call comes through, for those that don't know, 911 dispatch sends tones out and you get a page. And it'll read out, it'll tell you what's the call, where the address, what's the address, what the 10 code is, or the emergency code is, and tell you where to go, what's going on. And we're going on call. I think it was a wreck. If I'm not mistaken, it was probably a wreck. And I'm not speeding because I don't have lights and sirens on my K5 Blazer. I'm just kind of, to me, not speeding. To some other folks, probably. I didn't rear into anybody. Came close. It was kind of like this blind curve, and I slowed down right before I got to it. And I didn't slow down enough. But when I come up around the top of the hill, around this blind curve, there's a station wagon sitting right there. It just stopped. Thinking quickly, I look over in the oncoming traffic lane and looked in my rearview mirror and just jumped off into that lane and went around them. Because when I locked down on the brakes, only my front brakes locked up. I had no rear brakes whatsoever. And in a lifted K5 Blazer with 35s, it makes a howling sound.
Yeah, them front dogs is just going. And the back ones are like,
Yeah.
they
I
howl in
learned.
different tones.
I learned. So once I pulled the seat cloth out of my,
He had to
finally
replace
show up
that
on
because he
scene.
shit himself.
Yeah. I need another pair of pants, please. When I get on scene.
Or I'm gonna
So we
make
get
a
on
scene.
scene, handle that call, ride to the house, and of course, now I have to do brakes.
Yay,
Front
brakes.
rear, yeah, brakes. That was my first brake job. That's when I discovered that the front hub bearing has gone bad too. That was a lesson.
That's a good place to find out, I guess.
Yeah. I learned so much crap off of this truck, man. I mean, tie rod ends were bad. I don't remember. I know that it had one of those hard metal fuel caps.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a fuel door. All I had was a hard metal fuel cap.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times I had left it sitting on top of the fuel pump when I'm getting gas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm riding down the road, looking in, because I always looked in my mirrors. As I'm going down the road, I've always checked my mirrors.
Mm-hmm. As you should.
Yeah. So get this. I go to work one morning, and I always, and I still do this today. I always stop at like a local gas station to get coffee. If I, because if I don't make it here, or at work, if I know I don't have coffee here or at work, I'm gonna stop. So,
I just grab a Celsius.
well, this is the early 2000s. They didn't have Celsius back then. Did they have energy drinks back then?
Yes. Surge.
Yes.
That was a 16-ounce can of concentrated
Oh.
Mountain Dew.
Good Lord. Yes, it was.
One of those is 2 Monsters.
Yeah, and man, good Lord. I mean,
oh
you
my
set you
God.
off like old Beavis and Butthead. Beavis. I need to download the picture of I think I got a picture somewhere where, y'all know I'm moving, so I don't have any of my albums readily available, but scan some pictures of my old vehicles that I used to have. I don't have any pictures of my Power Wagon anymore. It's gone. I think I got a couple pictures of my old Blazer, and it was spray can camouflage too. Whoever I got it from looked like they had made these eagle stencils and stars. So it was like, it was jungle cam from what I remember, and it had, all down the side, kind of like a pinstripe down the side. Well, it would be a star, an eagle, a star, and then a little while later, a star, an eagle, a star, and then on down the side, all the way down the side of this.
See, if he'd have just started at star, eagle, star, and then moved it over so the last star covered the first star, and then sprayed the eagle and then the star, moved it over, eagle, star, eagle, star, eagle, star, it would have kept the pattern.
Yeah. I mean, even still, it's still like...
It was pretty cool, though. It sounds pretty cool.
Kind of like something you would get on a medal on, That's what it reminded me of when I looked at it, because I can remember how it looked back then. So I stopped down to this little gas station anyway, and this fella comes running up. Hey, from the passenger side, I'm like, he's like, "You want a top for this Blazer?" I was like, Yeah. And I'm going, oh God, because I know the tops. If anybody knows, I know the tops of those are fiberglass.
They're supposed
And
to be.
I kind of retract my last statement about our first. I don't know. That Blazer was fun to drive. I took that thing everywhere. Anyway, so I didn't hear anything from him. I said, "Yeah, man," and I didn't have. Yeah, I did. I had a PowerTel cell phone. Anybody remember those? PowerTel. And so the Blazer had a 350 4-bolt main, turbo 350 transmission. So we had 3 speeds, but we wouldn't get no gas mileage, especially 4-wheel drive sitting on 30. Did I say 35s? I meant 33s.
Yeah. Had 3 speeds here, there, and eventually.
No, it wasn't very slow.
No, that's why I said here, there, and eventually. Just depending on where you're going.
This is my introduction into really introduce, because as I'm going through this story, all this other stuff's coming back to my mind.
Yeah, like, oh shit, I forgot about that one. Fuck, oh yeah, that vehicle. Wow.
So didn't hear anything from the guy for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. And I'm at work, I'm at Heavy Duty Distributors, and I'm in the back, I don't know, doing inventory, cleaning up, being a do boy, whatever it was. And the guy comes back, hey man, somebody up front wants to see you. I'm like, all right. So go out there. Yes, sir. And he goes, hey man, come get that top. It's just taking up space in my shop. And I was like, all right, man, just give me your address and I'll be there. I left work, went to his shop, ended up paying $250. Still had good glass in it, and it was green. So it kind of went with the whole color of the truck. And spent about 3 hours that night cutting out sheet metal and removing that window, the back of the cab, cutting that out, cutting the sheet metal out, cleaning everything up. And I was trying to piece the whole Blazer together eventually. My goal was, but so set that top on there. All the hardware was there. We set it down in there, man. I gave that dude the cash, and I was happy, man. But hindsight's 2020. If you knew then what you know now, et cetera, et cetera. Ended up quitting. No, I ended up getting fired from Heavy Duty Distributor. Yeah, I got rear-ended in their truck, which is what gave me my herniated disc in my neck. I got
like that and fired you.
Yep. I was going to therapy, and I remember my last therapy session from them, which there again, I was a young kid, and I know I should have called, one of the Interact Get a Check lawyers, but there again, I didn't know. So
do yourself a favor and listen to me. Call 746 IKE Mike Hostelo. Sorry. That's how I knew how to call one when I got into my last accident.
But I will stress this. Everybody blue collar that listen to this, hard workers, don't let a company break you or make you get hurt. If you get hurt, you make sure that they take care of you, and you make sure that they pay you. Because there's ailments and stuff like that I deal with at 44 that I wish I should have went after these different companies and stuff like that. I just, like a dummy, I just shook it off and moved on. But yeah, I get up out of bed and I hurt and all that other stuff, but I didn't get paid for it. State of Georgia. So I just stress that, and I've heard we had him on here a couple weeks back. Jerry Wayne Longmire said the same thing about a job that he used to work for. Don't let somebody break you and not pay you. So
You gonna pay me, motherfucker?
pay up, sucker. My first little off-road adventure by myself. It wasn't even in my Power Wagon. It was in that Blazer. I'm sure that if Eddie and Amy were in the chats with us tonight, they could tell you they remember the Blazer that I had. A lot of people could.
So I had an 85.
Did you?
Yep, I had an 85 for about 3 months, and I traded it for something else. That's why when we were talking before we had started the first iteration of this, that's why the time period that you had originally come up with didn't make sense for me, because you wanted to talk about the second vehicle, but from 99 to 01, I still had the first vehicle. And it wasn't until almost the end of 01 that I got my second vehicle. But I had so many vehicles in the 4 years that I was in the Marine Corps that it was ridiculous. Nobody at my age had as many vehicles as I had in that 4-year period. Not at that time, anyways.
But I will say, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. How many vehicles do you say you had?
In the 4 years that I was in the Marine Corps, from 99 to 03, I had probably around 18 different vehicles.
Yeah, you beat me. I'm writing them down now. Okay.
One of those I still technically have.
What was that?
It's a 73 Nova.
Was that the candy apple red one you were talking about when everything went crazy on me earlier?
No.
Oh.
No.
So I had it in 9903.
Shit, now you're going to make me want to write mine down. No, I ain't got that.
I only had 4. Power Wagon, K5 Blazer, a Mazda 626. Yes.
Oh, what year?
89.
Ah.
I had a 90 or 91 Nissan Maxima.
91 Mazda Protege.
Oh, nice.
Factory 5-speed manual. Love driving that car. That was the sleeper. That was the stock sleeper, because nobody suspected that a Mazda Protege that was unmodified was going to smoke an EG hatch up Western Boulevard in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
You see Marines blood. You buy them with that.
No, not in those days. In those days, I didn't even have an interest rate.
No.
My credit was so good, nobody had interest in me. Of course, I paid cash for most of the things I wanted to buy, anyways. Yeah, shit. Back in those days, back in the early 2000s, if your credit score was like, what was it, 560, 580, somewhere in there, you had good credit. Now you don't have good credit unless you have like a 640.
Yeah, something like that.
So, I mean, back in those days, I had no credit in 1999. By 2001, I had already gone through 3 vehicle loans. Like, gone to the bank and gotten a loan for a vehicle. using the vehicle as collateral to pay the loan, and paid off those loans because I was making money out on the streets. Being an entrepreneur. Laugh all you want, man.
I think by 2001, let's see, I'd already had and I'll just leave it unnamed, truck tool account. Yeah, so
you could just
my
say
credit. It was Mac. It wasn't even Snap On or
No.
Matco. I don't think Matco.
Matco might have been around. Not as popular.
Matco, not around here.
That's what I'm saying. Not as popular.
Yeah.
It's just Snap On. Snap On. We should do a story on Snap On or tool trucks.
They're dangerous. But during that time period, man, I mean, it was, of course, trying to find a direction in life. I'm in my, early or late teens, early 20s, and trying to figure things out. Of course, I had a lot of help from Miss Adams, and, I miss that man to this day. I saw him before he, don't remember what year he passed away right off the top of my head. But I learned a lot in that shop.
Yeah, but you graduated high school, what, 6 years ago? We're talking 20 years ago.
20. How old is
4 years?
How old is Marine's blood?
I don't know. I'm just picking on him. That's what Marines do.
Yeah, we're talking about 24 years ago.
Yeah. Especially with him saying I didn't have credit till 2020-ish.
Yeah. But I learned a lot. Miss Adams had a shop in South Macon, and we'd go up there and spend all kind of hours, tweaking our vehicles, making adjustments, cleaning stuff, trying to figure out how to be mechanics because, I'm a mechanic now, and at the time, thinking back, I was like, dude, I had no idea what I was doing.
Is that what you call it?
What, tweaking stuff? Yeah.
No, you said now you're a mechanic. So is that what you call it?
Yeah. Now I'm a mechanic.
I had to call your brother to come show you how to put a motor in.
Nah, I needed help with that. But anyway.
Apparently, but it took me 5 minutes to show up and just go like this.
I graduated in 2011, so.
See? Not only is he a boot, he's a boot. He's a shower shoe.
Now, with your help, see, I didn't have any help until you showed up.
No, I know.
I've been fighting with that,
I know. But it was just funny that I showed up and you were sitting there showing me what you had been doing, and I was like, give me that bar. Go underneath. Get it lined up. And then 1, 2, 3, boom, and it was done. I was like, see? I was like, all right. Wiped my hands and started going back towards the truck.
I needed some more knowledgeable help.
No, you just needed a break where you didn't have to think. All you had to do was do. That's what you needed. You needed somebody else to come in and go finish what you had already started because you kept hitting a wall. Yeah. I do that shit all the time. Today, I went and met up with my father and just sat on the porch with him, just talking and, sitting back, smoking a cigarette, just bullshitting for like 2 hours. And then we ended up going to get something to eat. That's what I needed. With all the other stuff that's going on, that's what I need. I just needed to go ride, hang out with Pops, and then eat some good food.
And I seriously thought, I was like, dude, I don't know and I seriously thought about making my way over there just to eat with y'all. It did cross my mind. I was like,
you wouldn't be live right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything I can to try and stay awake.
My man got the itis.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, during that time period, like I said, I met some lifelong friends. I learned some lessons. Um,
Yeah.
and this was when I got rid of that Blazer, and I think Amy told me she was in the chats. Um, but when I got rid of that Blazer is when I met my first Connor's mom. All right, on here it's Bubba. But yeah, man. I mean, of course, driving a K5 Blazer with 2 front seats, no back seat, no interior. And you were talking about the subs and all that in that S10. It made me think about what I had in the back of that.
that Nissan that
I had. Oh, was it Nissan? Okay.
the extended cab.
Yeah, I had no interior in that Blazer, so it's basically a metal can, a metal box going down the road. No carpet, no, not even a rubber mat on the floor.
It was great in the wintertime.
Oh yeah,
Terrible in the summer.
And there's no back seat, no nothing. And I had my little rinky-dink CD player that I probably picked up from somebody. I don't even know. No, didn't even have that. Had a Blah Punk tape player with here we go. You ready? With a portable CD player with the adapter, the tape adapter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The cassette
So
tape with the wire coming out of it, with the 3.5 millimeter plug, mail in plug, so you could plug it into your CD min.
Yep.
If you were rich enough to have one of those. Now you can find them for like $1 at fucking flea market. And they still work. I bought one about a year ago.
What was it? But yeah, man. So during this time as well, I discovered this band called Montgomery Gentry. Their very first album at the time was called Tattoos and Scars. Or their popular album. I don't know what they had out before that, but I remember when they hit big, it was their Tattoos and Scars album. So I was rotating Montgomery Gentry's album out with Leonard Skinner's platinum hits, platinum and gold, by the way. Yeah, buddy. And that was a 2-disc set. And for those of you who don't know, it was way before MP3s and YouTube playlists, Spotify playlists. We didn't have that. We had a CD book.
Big ass trapper keeper.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
called them albums.
I have, believe it or not, somewhere here.
Dude, I got 3 CD cases and 4 CDs.
I have a Dale Earnhardt CD case.
Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? It's probably got an Allman Brothers CD in it.
No, those are those are in the CD rack.
Those over here in the library in the back.
Yeah. I pick up the camera and show you, but I don't want to have to fool with all that.
Yeah.
Wherever I move to, all my music stuff will be behind me.
Why?
I don't know.
It's not like you talk about music on this channel. You're always talking about yourself.
So it was just Montgomery Gentry, man. There was something about that at that time. It was just what I've discovered is a soundtrack of life. And different songs come in at different stages in our lives. Whether anybody believes this or not, I don't know. It's just something that I came up with. Maybe I'm crazy, but different songs and different and I used to think this true would come in at different times in life that was kind of go with what's going on. And it was just that real. There's a song that sticks out to me that I was learning how to sing and learn where my vocal range was. It was called
Wait,
trying to
hold on.
what?
It's not about your vocal range.
Yes.
You mean like those scalded dog noises you do at karaoke?
Oh, shut your hole.
Love you,
Let's
brother.
see. Marine's Blood, the Marquette, the cassette player. My Odyssey has CD. Has I like the cassette because I could use the adapter from my phone. Nice. There he is. There's Eddie Adams in the chat, y'all.
There he
We were
is.
talking about him.
Welcome. Yay.
Oh, Hebrew Eddie.
Whoa.
I'll get to that joke here, and I'll get to that explanation, which is part of this story, here in just a second. So I'm actually out there in Jones County living with Mr. Adams, Eddie, Amy, Miss Scarlett. Rest easy. To Miss Adams and Miss Scarlett, because they were like I said, second parents to me. So where was I? Oh, jamming out to Montgomery Gentry. This is when I started discovering rock and roll, thanks to Eddie. Hard rock like Papa Roach and oh gosh, who else was out there at the time?
Deftones, Incubus,
Yeah.
Tool.
And just to let you know, Eddie, I know you're listening or watching. I did give you a big shout out for rewiring my old K5 Blazer.
Yes.
That I was driving at the time.
You psycho. I bet he enjoyed it too. He's got to be a sociopath.
But yeah, so being deep in the Southern rock like I was, but being around them, that's when I learned, I discovered all that other rock music that was out there. I remember Oleander. You remember them? That one song they had?
Oh my God, Oleander, one hit wonders. Wow.
Yeah. It's played every once in a while. It's played on the radio on one of the iHeart channels.
I was gonna say, you still listen to the radio?
Yeah.
I got Sirius XM. I don't listen to nothing else anymore.
I put it on iHeart, man. I enjoy it. I like listening to different, especially from out of state radio channels.
I just really hate all the DJs that get on there and talk for 30 minutes or the commercials. I just want to hear the music. I hate podcasts.
I like podcasts. I mean, how do you hate podcasts?
I was just making sure you're paying attention, man.
Was it? Let's see. When did that movie? So.
What movie?
Oh, that was 2003.
What movie?
Wow. So the movie Anger Management, Eddie and I had watched.
Oh, yeah. Anger Management.
Yeah, and that's how it all started. He calls me Hebrew David from that movie, and I call him Hebrew Eddie.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah. I guess.
Did you seen that movie?
No, yeah, I've seen every Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, yeah. So that's where that comes from. Yes. But yeah, man, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool that at the time, here I am driving this big 4-wheel drive Chevy Blazer, and one of my best friends, who, like I said, he became my family. Was driving a two, so we basically drove the same truck. His was just 2-wheel drive, mine was 4-wheel drive. His was a lot faster than mine, and we had a lot of fun. He had one of those Z gate shifters. He had bucket seats. I don't remember. He could probably tell you in the chats. Bucket seats out
were
of something.
better.
And the bucket seats that he had, I had bucket seats, but they're original. Green pleather, okay?
Oh,
Green
so beautiful.
vinyl.
Oh my God.
And I want to say his seats came out of an Acura or something because they had speakers in the headrest.
Man, just the description of your vehicle makes me want to go listen to some Chumbawamba or something.
And that was, yeah, bucket with speakers and headrest. That was in Eddie's truck, and they were tan.
Oh man. Yeah, definitely gonna have to listen to some Chumbawamba later. Oh my God.
And his truck sounded so great, man. I don't even know why or how, what all happened to that truck.
Those buckets come out of a Porsche? I vaguely remember some 80s Porsches, early 90s Porsches had speakers in the headrest.
Remember that, but
And they were easy to get a hold of because they weren't expensive. Because that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
And dang, I hate podcasts as well. For those listening, that's Marine's Blood says I hate podcasts as well. That's why I'm subscribed to so many. I have a couple hundred I've yet to listen to, and it's growing. Not enough hours in my 12-hour shift to catch up.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. No, I really don't like podcasts.
No.
I'm sitting in one right now, and I love it. I look forward to this every week.
Yeah.
But I don't have the patience to sit there and watch somebody else's podcast that I'm not directly interacted with.
Right.
I'm ADD, ADHD. That's why the subject keeps changing. Anyway, back to your
ADD, ADHD with a GED. What's up?
PTSD.
Yeah, that too.
and CDO.
Got all the letters.
I got really bad CDO.
But yeah, Eddie had this Z gate shifter. He would just and then drop it all the way back into first, nail it, and get on down, let them RPMs kick up, and just boop in the second gear. And I don't remember what happened to that truck, man. Yep. A lot of tunes, a lot of hours, a lot of miles.
My first fast vehicle was around 2000, 2001, right before I went overseas. I picked up an 85 Escort GT. And if you know, those came stock with the 5.0 Mustang motor in them from the same year. Came with the Mustang motor. I think it was a 5.0. But I had that, we called it the crushed Stang, because it was basically a Mustang that was kind of compacted. But we took that and made it rear wheel drive and turned it into a retarded beast. It was a washing machine. It was a washing machine. It was definitely a washing machine. It did 4-wheel drive donuts, but it was only 2-wheel drive.
I thought the Taurus SHO had the V8 in it.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it was the Taurus.
Early 90s, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
It was like 92.
Mid 90s.
Why do I know so much about Ford vehicles? I hate Ford vehicles.
I don't know. I was going to ask the same thing. For a dude that don't like Oh, Grand Marquis, yes, sir.
See, that Grand Marquis, those are touchy subjects. I hate them.
See, for me, man, I mean, I like those. And just bear with me.
I grew up in one.
I can remember, like I said, and I've talked about it before and earlier. My cousin's '86 Crown Vic. It was an old Georgia State Trooper car. It went through the flood of '94, and that was a fun car to really. We learned a lot messing with it because it had a carburetor too. And just like my Blazer, I had an old Rochester carburetor. I got tired of that thing and went and got an Edelbrock with a adapter plate because I had carburetor money. I didn't have carburetor and intake money. There's my transition to that job working with Eddie, as a matter of fact, for a company called, it sounds so dirty, So Deep Incorporated.
Interesting.
I
still want to open up my own shop and call it Turtles Slow Mo Speed Shop.
They should bring the Crown Vics back. Also, the Chevy Caprices.
I was going to say, watch out with that because that Caprice, the last Caprice they brought out, looked like they took a Grand Marquis or a Crown Vic and just tried to stretch it out a little bit. It looks so ugly.
But if you watch an episode of Roadkill, I think they did a heads up with the Caprice and the Crown Vic on a course that they were doing, and the Crown Vic outperformed it.
Yeah, that's why they were chosen as mostly cop cars.
Yeah.
There were some places that had Grand Marquis, but Grand Marquis are basically the same thing as Crown Vics.
The 5.0 HO motor in the Crown Vics out of the Police Interceptor engines are serious engines.
Yeah,
I laugh. I mean, nowadays, everybody has gone to the Ford Explorer.
Don't get the Aztec.
Huh?
Marine's Blood said wife wants either a Crown Vic or an Aztec.
Oh, God.
I said, don't get an Aztec.
No. You don't want that.
No. I mean, if you like working on your own vehicles all the time, buy a Harley. If you like staring at the vehicle and wishing you could work on it, buy an Aztec.
It's kind of like the Saturn View. Mm-hmm.
You know why they called it the View?
Why?
Because by the time you got anywhere with a good view, you were stuck there anyways.
Eddie earlier in the chats, he said that he sold his truck to get something newer.
Yeah.
Regret it later. Yeah.
I knew it was later. Yeah. I wish I'd have never got rid of my K5 because I had an 85 K5 in 2003. I had for 3 months. I think it was three or 4 months. But I never used it. 4-wheel drive, fucking souped up. I mean, you sneeze and you're already doing 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Barking the tires. It was just not something that was comfortable to drive daily on the streets. And I'm not, at the time, I wasn't big into going out into the woods and driving 4-wheel drive through the mud. Just didn't impress me at all.
Right.
But I got rid of it, and then later on in life, I ended up getting an 85 S10 Blazer.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a fun little toy. Anyway.
Yeah, I had a 93 S10 Blazer.
Mm-hmm. Same
two-wheel
thing.
drive, yep. 5-speed, lowered it the wrong way.
Did you heat the springs and compress them, or did you just cut them?
Cut them.
Yeah, we just heated them up.
Cut the springs and lower them blocks.
Yeah, we just heated them up and compressed them and then put wire on them. We're like really thick, like really, really thick, solid wire.
Yeah.
And wrapped it around like the 3 springs that we were compressing. And then heated it up that way. And then heat treated it, quenched it. So it
Yeah.
made it really, really, really strong. Luckily, it was a mild steel and not a hard steel, or it would have shattered. But we didn't know at the time. But thank God, it was the way it was.
But yeah, Eddie said I can remember why he sold his truck. His newer one, he went from that C10 over to it was a beautiful color, but on the wrong car, I believe. A Pontiac Sunfire. I think it was like I don't remember what year it was. And then that's when the whole import crowd took off. There we go. And there's Amy.
Hey, Amy. Hello.
See, this is why I honestly call everybody brothers and sisters, because Turtle, Eddie, Amy, Marine's blood.
Turtle's just an idiot.
Known him for a couple years through the other podcast, our buddies over there at Failure to Stop. That's how I know him through. Yeah, get the Crown Vic.
Just get the Crown Vic. Just do it.
It's a V8 rear-wheel drive car.
I mean,
what can go wrong?
It is a Ford.
I tell you what, even if it's a 4.6 liter, even if you put a set of catback Flowmasters on there,
I mean, you can always LS
that thing will
swap
sound
it.
mean.
You can Hemi swap it.
You could.
Could always Cummins swap it.
All right, I think that's a little above his pay grade.
He's got you as a friend.
I
mean, he's married with kids. It's never going to happen, anyways. But
not the Marauder. Mercury Marauder was a
souped up Crown Vic.
There's a souped up Grand Marquis.
Same difference.
Grand Marquis is a Crown Vic in a fancy dress.
And the Marauder was the fancy dress on steroids.
Yeah.
It had all the luxury.
Not
plus the big hanging Harry's.
Oh yeah. Hanging fruit.
The forbidden fruit.
I need money first. I'm broke. I'm gonna start sending him all kind of Facebook ads of Crown Vics.
Like I've been doing you.
All I said one time was, "Yeah, man, I'd like to get old JK Jeep,
or a TJ. But if I got a JK, it'd have to be a 4-door. So that's what I do. I send you TJs, JKUs, and motorcycles. But I'm not being selfish here because I have those. Because I have those things. I also send you properties, houses with property, houses with shop on property.
That's what I need. Yeah.
So
that's what I'm gonna have to move to, man, to store all my trucks.
And all the other shit that I wish I could buy, but I got a wife and 3 kids. You don't?
Then we can start doing this live from my shop, working on my trucks.
While we're working on your trucks, with me showing you how to put the engines in.
We'll change the name of the podcast. No, we won't. We'll just keep it as it is.
Forever Road when we finish this.
A Hemi swap JK.
We could do this like 3 or 4 times a week.
That means I'd have to move to Perry.
No, I just quit my job. We do a YouTube channel, Forever Road podcast, and then just have a series for each one of the days. Like Monday would be sit around the shop and take out the trash. I don't know. Fucking Wednesday would be something else. Friday would be something else. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday were our days off.
So I'm trying to remember what Amy's second vehicle was. I know Eddie's was that Sunfire. Amy, I think she
A
cruised
Sunfire. Did he have a body? Did he have a body kit on it?
I don't even know if he's still in the chat. Eddie, you still in the chat?
Eddie, did you have a body kit on a green Sunfire? And I say green, I mean like it was green. Or there was a yellow one.
No, his was green.
Okay.
His was like, but it was that real cool.
At the time, like the early 2000s, bright green.
No, not that.
Not
bright.
like
it was a dark
neon.
Green.
Yeah, not like neon green, but like not like the F8 Dodge green.
No.
Not that dark, but brighter than that.
Let's see.
Anyway, it don't matter. Used to ride around in Macon all the time. I used to see that damn car everywhere. And then the yellow one in Warner Robins. Oh, I wanted to flatten his tires. 1990 Chevy. That was what Amy had.
Oh, yeah. The old 1500. I'm reading Amy's text. She was texting my phone before all of this. I'm not going to repeat any of it unless she posts the comments herself.
We ain't got time for
that. I'll just say Eddie was a pansy ass and wanted a car instead of a truck.
Damn.
I think it was a big influence on the import scene that was coming. That, Fast and Furious just hit, and then Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious hit, and then that was all that you remember. Everything, Civics and Accords and all the Bumblebee
fart cans
riding around.
Cans with rocks in it. Yeah. No, I was building those. We were building those in high school.
Yep, he put them ugly. She said Eddie's car had the ugly graphics down the side. It had this gray. He did it in my house too. This gray splash kind of graphic down the side of it with a tan interior.
See, I think that's why my parents didn't let me get a vehicle while I was in high school or my license.
That is my tism, folks. If I can honestly say, I remember, especially if it's somebody's vehicle, I could probably tell you more about your vehicle than you can tell me about your vehicle. If especially if you're a close friend of mine, and I remember Amy cruising around some Beretta, at very first. I don't even think she had her license. She drove my Blazer one time.
And that was the last time it ever ran. I'm sorry. I don't
wrapped around a tree. No, I'm just kidding. It didn't. That's not true. I can't say that.
No, you can't. Maybe a tree around it, but.
What? All right, folks. Well, that's our second vehicle, my first Chevrolet episode, and along with the other stories and timelines that goes along with all that. And we have some things we need to talk about. And I'm getting it pulled up now.
Put that away. We're still live on YouTube.
Not that.
Oh, the other.
So we have two 501c3 nonprofit organizations that we always. I didn't have my license when I drove my truck. That car or your truck. Yep. I remember that. But I mean, it was the late 90s, early 2000s. Did we really care? As long as we didn't get caught, who cared?
And if you were in the right areas, it didn't matter if you did get caught.
I mean, it was Jones County, dude, you know?
Yeah. Back then, they would just pull you over. Bosco, go home. You know you're not supposed to be out here. What would happen if I called your mama?
Right. Well, back then, you'd have to call Miss Adams. Yeah, my mom's asleep, dude. She works nights. Don't call her. She'd cuss you out and hang up the phone.
She'd be like, good. Somebody found him.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of a story real quick. I'll say. My
bad,
so I was working at a heavy duty distributor, and I go out to my truck, and wasn't thinking about anything. I just got in my truck and said, well, I hadn't seen mom and daddy in a while, so I went right down the road, went to their house. And mom comes out to the living room. Hey, here. She hands me half of a $50 bill. I was like, okay, cool. What's this for? She goes, you didn't see the other half? And I was like, no, I didn't. She had come by work and dropped and put the half of $50 in the little rinky-dink console I had in my truck. She laid it right there in the seat, the other half. She thought I was coming by to get to bring me, because I hadn't seen him in like 3 or 4 months at the time.
She was making sure you still had gas money.
Yeah.
Is this damn thing broke down again? Here, let me give him some money with it. I'm only going to give him half, so he has to come by and get the other half, though.
Is the truck broke down at his job, or does he just happen to park in the same spot every time? No, I park in the same spot, even where I'm at now. I'm funny about that. I always park in the same spot every time I park.
And if somebody else is parked there, they sign their rights to their tires away.
I'm like, man, you need to move your vehicle.
I will call Bubba. He'll come over here with his tow truck.
So,
yep.
Let's see. There we go. Yeah, this is the late 90s or early 2000s, Marine Blood. I put tape on the. Actually, she took both halves, gave me a regular 50, and that was that. So
it still is a felony, but you have to prove that it was actually that person doing it and that it was a real bill that you actually seen them ripping.
Mm-hmm. With malicious intent.
Yeah, so.
I wonder if Marine's Blood was like the hall monitor at school. Where's your hall pass at? I don't know why.
No, they weren't. They didn't have no hall monitors that were students. They were all barricaded in classrooms and shit. They had actual truancy officers walking through schools.
Truancy? Wow.
That's what they got at all the schools in Middle Georgia now.
Do they?
All of Houston County.
Wow.
That's why you always see it. That's why you always see a cop car out in front of the high schools now. See,
Okay.
he was homeschooled, so he did have a hall monitor. He probably was the hall monitor. Damn it. Got me on that one, Bosco. Son of a gun.
Get up from the table to go from schoolwork and get bullied in the hall by his dad.
His cousin Terry.
Get shut down for his lunch money at home.
By his mom. What are you doing in the hallway, punk? Huh? I got this toothpick. I'll clean your ear out.
Oh, that reminds
With
me of
love
that,
and care.
that joke I did. The guy said he did a social experiment with his son. Made his son walk around wearing a Ford I Love Ford shirt. And he said, so far, my kid's been kicked, spit on, pushed into the walls, and had a swirly done to him. And he ain't even left the house yet.
Which is funny. My daughter actually, Emily, my middle child, she actually bought a shirt, saved up her own money, bought a shirt, a Ford Mustang shirt, because she knows I don't like Ford Mustangs. I was like, you little shit.
Wow.
And she loves that shirt, dude.
This is my favorite shirt, Dad. What are you going to do about it?
No, it's definitely not her favorite, but it is on the favorites list. I ain't mad at her. It's a good Mustang. I just don't like Ford Mustangs. I don't like Ford in general.
Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes, they're all kind of overdone, overrated to me. I mean, nowadays it's the Chargers and Challengers. They're overrated and overdone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Show me something different.
Jeeps. Oh my God. Those are so overdone and overrated.
Only if you're in the local
Jeep club.
Let's
go hand out ducks to everybody.
So, before we wrap this thing up, we got a few things we're going to talk about. We always end it with the Operation Tackle Box, 501c3 nonprofit organization. They still have their rally for the ultimate UTV raffle.
Yes, please go check that out.
Yes. It is a 2023 Polaris Ranger XP 1000. I could probably almost say that without really reading it. I think I did last week. The giveaway ends on December 20th, 2024. Then they will host a big event and invite everyone out that purchased a ticket. So even if you do buy a raffle ticket to win the XP 1000, you still get invited to go hang out with a great group of folks who are doing some really good things for our veterans. Healing Through Reeling, combat veterans, helping combat veterans. Say that 3 times fast. Find them at Facebook, Operation Tackle Box, Instagram at Operation_Tackle_Box. You can go on the shop now, get you some super sweet merch. I have not worn my shirt they're all packed away. I'm just going to be honest. Some t-shirts, hats. There's t-shirts right there for ladies and men or other. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, I don't. But anyway, they got dry fit shirts. They got hoodies, hats, and there's your shopping t-shirt. Do they have our green one that we have?
Yes.
Doesn't look like it. Run OTB, yeah. And they have shirts and hats for kids too. Well, at least shirts for kids. There you go. some more shirts, just showing y'all some stuff. And
You're
then
not
dry
showing
fit
us anything.
options, jackets. I know it's getting cold, so there's some jackets right there.
We can't see it.
Oh, they can't. Oh, I wonder why.
Because that's part of the store where you actually share personal information.
Oh.
They can go on the webpage, Operation
But yeah,
Chatterbox, all one word,
go in there.
lowercase.org.
Click click shop now, go through. They got jackets, especially it's getting cold outside. They got hoodies, they got sweatshirts, long sleeve polos, t-shirts, tank tops. If you're down in the warmer area of our nation. But yeah, they straight out of Sonoy, Georgia. People pronounce the A. I was rudely corrected by a lady that worked at a gas station.
Sonoya.
I said Sonoya. She was like, it's Sonoy. I was like, I know I have a GED, but there's an A on the end of that name over there.
From my understanding, it's Native American, and the Native American way to say it is Sonoya.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever. I don't live there. I don't really care.
So,
it's Houston County, not Houston. That's all I got.
Yeah. So, the other one, and I'll share that screen just a second. So, yeah, please go check them out. They do a lot of good for our military veterans. They're on X, apparently, formerly known as, whatever. I don't have that, so. But yeah,
I
you
don't
can go
touch
on.
X either.
Let's see. The other one, click share here, which is very near and dear. Guys over at Failure to Stop and James with Getting a Grip on Things, which I don't even know if that's a podcast any longer, but James Stewart. They're going to come out with a documentary about Hurricane Helene and the whole devastated area up through the northwestern North Carolina. About what's going on up there. I know we've talked about it before in prior episodes. And, like I said, it's 501c3 nonprofit organization. They've been helping out the Hurricane Helene victims up in western North Carolina. That area got devastated by that storm. And I know it's getting cold outside, and those who are listening right now, or those who will listen, go online, check those people out as well, make a donation to either or both, however you get down. I know the giving season's coming up. Christmas is right around, not too far from now. Thanksgiving is next week after. Yeah, week after. Thanksgiving, anyway, it's close by. And, these folks they're going to need jackets, they're going to need blankets, they're going to need, anything. They started out as a counter sex trafficking organization. They target the traffickers, protect children, and provide crisis response throughout our nation. So those folks they're doing a lot of good, a lot of amazing things for people in need and people that need help. You can go on there, sign up for their newsletter, first name, last name, email, donate, join the fight, because we all know it. I'm pretty confident that everybody listening have children, knows, nieces, nephews, and imagine what would happen if they got gone, So support this foundation. It's important. That's the only reason why I do these ad reads. And I've never asked them for a dime, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's why I do it. Or that's why we do it. I do this podcast for fun, to share my stories, my experiences, talk trash, get on here and talk about whatever we want to talk about.
I only do it to annoy you. I hate podcasts.
it's according to Marine's Blood, he hates podcasts too. With all his 9,000 subscriptions he's got. But I know we're about a little over an hour and a half into this. It's creeping up on 10 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, for being in the chats. Thank you for listening. Click like and subscribe. Share this video from YouTube's. I don't know why I always put an S on the end of that. I think I heard it somewhere before somebody pronounced it, and I thought it was funny. But yeah, thank y'all. Thank you, Turtle, for helping me out with my computer issues earlier. But nice. Thank you, Marine's Blood. Catfish was in here earlier. Amy, Eddie. I think that's about it. Yeah. I got some downloading to do. I got to download this episode and a few more episodes back so I can get this out on Spotify, iHeart, and all the other ones too. So, got anything else? Anything coming up this week?
You got that thing, next weekend?
I'm flying out to...
No. The Skydog.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That's another thing. This is something else for Making the Middle of Georgia. Let's see. Skydog Music Festival. Macon, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share the screen.
Oh, you've got a screen of it?
Yep, they got a website. Bam.
Well,
So,
golly gee.
In memory of Dwayne Allman, because Dwayne's birthday is in about 3 days, November 20th. So they're doing it. They usually do it the weekend before Thanksgiving. But the story goes is when the brothers first moved to Macon, they were so poor and they didn't have a whole lot of money. They scrounged up some change to go to the H&H restaurant to get one plate, and they 6 of them eating off one plate, essentially. This is the very early days of the H&H restaurant, very early days of the Allman Brothers Band. They hadn't even cut their first album yet. But with the love of Mama Louise Hudson, and we've had on our H&H we had an episode back when Will Cray was in here.
Yeah.
We had an episode about the H&H restaurant and some other music places in history. So Mama Louise would give the brothers, food of their own, so they wouldn't have to share. And according to her, if you ever make your way to the big house, the Allman Brothers Band Museum, if you ever make your way up there, there's a video, DVD, and I have a copy called Please Call Home. And they interview everybody. And Mama Louise is in there as well. And they called her Mama Louise. Anyway, Mama Louise would feed them. So I think in honor of Dwayne and the H&H restaurant and what all was going on in the late 60s with the brothers first starting out, they started this festival to benefit the homeless people around Macon and Middle Georgia. There's a link on there to Daybreak, sponsors, media, whatever. So the festival, bring some items. There's a donation list. It's always held Sunday before Thanksgiving, like I said, from noon to 5, and I'll be there. Carolyn Creighton Park, formerly known as Central City Park. If you don't know, it's always still known as Central City Park, and I don't care. But that's me.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, Central City. Well, they call it Carolyn Creighton Park now.
No. That's what they call it.
That's what they call it. I call it.
What they say. We call it Central City Park.
Yeah.
Because if anybody were to say whatever that place, Creighton Park,
Yeah.
somebody would go, "Where is that?" And then they'd start describing it. Oh, you mean Central City Park?
Yeah. Up until the other day, I didn't know where Carolyn Creighton Park was.
Exactly my point. Anybody that matters would call it Central City Park. They've been calling it that since the 60s.
I was like, where? Because I heard the advertisement on the radio.
Yeah.
I'm going, where? So I had to look it up. Oh, Central City Park. Okay, I know where that's at.
What the hell is a Carrollton Crate? Wait, what?
But I missed it the last.
Who is that?
Yeah, who is that? Or as kids would say nowadays, who is even that?
Who that is? That's all one word.
They request some items. It's like toiletries and stuff like that to get in. So it don't even cost you. Well, I mean, it does cost you, but it's going to a very good cause. It goes to making Middle Georgia's daybreak. You know, toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, soap, socks, jackets, all the things.
Items for the homeless.
Yeah. And it goes, and there's a list. So yeah, if you're ever around Middle Georgia around this time of year, I'm going this year. We might actually shoot a little bit of live of this from there, or maybe afterwards.
You do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I will be. I'm flying out, going to Billings, Montana Thursday. I'll be there and fly back in on Sunday. Actually, I'm flying in from Atlanta to Denver, Denver to Billings.
That's the way I'd do it.
I mean, why not?
I mean,
so yeah. You got anything else?
I can't think of anything else you've forgotten.
Let's see what the temperature is right now, Billings, Montana.
Cold.
It is 45 degrees.
I told you. Cold.
That's not bad.
It's still cold. Go stick your ass outside right now.
To me, cold is like in the 30s.
No. Because 32 is freezing water.
Yep.
That's the limit of cold. Anything below 32 is freezing. Literally.
Okay. So it's 53 in Macon, which we're close by.
It's 54 in Perry.
Right. That's 5 degrees less. I'm just saying.
Okay, go stick your head in the fridge, wait 5 minutes, pull your head out and measure the temperature, and then stick your head in the freezer for 5 minutes. That ain't
a big freezer, a big walk-in freezer at work. I can do that at.
I know it's working in an ice factory. Nerd.
Uh-huh.
But you're also further north. You don't have big Georgia pines stopping the wind from blowing on you.
That is true. What I've learned, and I'm not going to really hate on Billings, Montana, but all the research I've done, I've noticed that Billings,
is a big Macon.
Is the Macon of Montana. So I'm gonna go check it out, see what it's about, and I will. That'll be my
outskirts.
That'll be my my story for next week. You know, we'll get on here and chit chat. Matter of fact, I think I have an idea. Something I want to do special for Thanksgiving. Says it'll be the episode before Thanksgiving. So. Yeah. And now I'll put up some follow us on Instagram. We're back live on Instagram now. I'm gonna post a question on Facebook on our Facebook page. Tell me what your favorite holiday is. Matter of fact, not even that, but tell me what your favorite Thanksgiving item is. Are you just a turkey person? Are you like cranberry sauce out of a can? Do you like the dressing, or if you're a Yankee, the stuffing? You know,
Deviled eggs and
what
burritos.
I work with a Mexican guy. I need to ask him what Mexicans do for Thanksgiving.
If they're just Mexican, then they probably don't celebrate Thanksgiving. That's an American holiday.
Okay, so if they're Mexican American,
then they probably just do a turkey because it's an American holiday.
You get my point, jerk. God.
Okay, they're probably.
I think I'll decline that IG. I'm boycotting since too many people are discriminated against us without accounts. I don't discriminate against nobody unless you're. Never mind. I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. Nah, man. Follow us on Facebook. You know, I'll post it. I'll post the question there. Yeah, I'm really trying to push more Facebook so I can unlock a certain level. Find out when you do a professional Facebook account, professional, see that quotes, that you have to go through certain levels to unlock different things to help your page grow. Marine's Blood says pumpkin pie. Somebody sent me a picture of.
He's a basic white dude.
Pumpkin spice pie. We're just picking on Marine's Blood tonight, ain't we?
He's so young. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I used to eat pumpkin pie as a kid. But I got to this point where I just don't like pumpkin anything. I don't even like pumpkin candles. I just don't. It's not bad. I just no. Mechanically separated chicken, pork, beef, hot dog, or Hebrew National. All kosher beef.
Have you had the fried deviled eggs yet? Deep fried deviled eggs?
Stop it.
With bacon?
Yes, the deviled egg. Dude, no. Garlic butter grilled shrimp on top.
Good Lord.
Don't fuck with me. Those deviled eggs are that's my baby.
Save this conversation. We'll talk about it in our next week's episode. And I hope to see Marine's Blood, Eddie, Amy, Catfish, or otherwise known as Alan Tidwell. Everybody, to see y'all in the chats next week. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you, viewers, listeners, followers, whatever, brothers and sisters. You know, we're all here because we're not all there. But I love y'all, and I'm very grateful for y'all. And I'll keep this thing going. That's all I got. I think we're going to actually have Thanksgiving here, but that's, like I said, we'll save all that food numminess conversation for next week. And we're just jump off here and play a little bit of Forza. So, yeah.
Oh, I thought we were gonna play Minecraft.
What? Call of Duty? What?
I thought we were gonna play Minecraft.
Minecraft. Marine's Blood said 10 more hours. Do I have to be at work, bro?
Dude, no, you got all them other podcasts you got to catch up on. Watch those.
Yeah, really.
Hell, this one's only 2 hours long. You could rewatch the other 30 minutes, 45 minutes we did.
I didn't even save that. I deleted it. Yeah. I
still saw it on the YouTube page, but whatever. I don't care either way. It's your channel, not mine. It's not going to fall back on me for being ugly.
Hey, man, we just show up and ugly up the place every week. That's what we do.
That's what I'm here for. If I don't do it, somebody else is going to.
Till next go around, brothers and sisters, I love y'all. Peace.
Thanks for riding with us on the Forever Road podcast with Bosco. Hey, you can find and follow us at Instagram and Facebook, or just drop us a line or a question anytime at foreverroadpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time on the Forever Road podcast.